Hello friends, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdurrahman and I am a level 1 student at Trans School Kanji campus. Today I am going to discuss an interesting topic examining how literature reflects and affects social virtuals. So let's get started.
Hey there, I'm Miles, and you are?
Now, hello Miles, how are you?
I'm doing great, just vibing. You caught me at a good time. What's on your mind today?
So Miles, my topic is literature has reflections of security.
That's a deep cut. I'm into it. You talking about the comfort of a stable world, or more like that feeling when the walls start closing in and the characters realize nothing is actually safe? You know what I'm saying?
So my next topic is literatures and culture worlds.
Quick pivot, I see. That's an interesting angle. You're thinking about how books basically act as a guidebook for how to behave in a society, or more like how they challenge the rules that everyone just accepts as gospel?
So my next topic is literatures and social traits.
You're keeping me on my toes with these pivots. I'm with you. Social creates what? The expectations, the conflict. Finish that thought for me.
So my next topic is literatures and historical events, literatures and human explanations.
You're basically giving me the ultimate reading list today. I love the human explanation side of things. Like history gives us the dates and the dry facts, but literature is where we actually find out how people felt while the world was falling apart around them. It's more like the gossip of the past. You know what I'm saying? Which era are you looking at?
So my next topic is literatures and social identify, literatures and family worlds.
You're covering a lot of ground here. Family Worlds is a vibe. I've always thought those stories are the most honest because you can't really hide who you are from people who've known you since you were in diapers. Are you thinking about those tight knit families that feel like a sanctuary, or the kind where the family tree is basically a map of all the things they don't talk about at dinner?
So my next topic is literatures and social identify, literatures and family worlds.
Got it. We're doubling down on those two. The identity part is wild because it's usually a tug of war between who the world says you are and who you actually are when the lights are off. And family walls, that's a heavy image. Like the things people build to keep the secrets in, or the barriers that make you feel like a stranger in your own living room. Which one is hitting closer to home for you right now?
So nice. Literatures and communicating life, literatures and model worlds.
Communicating life model walls, you're leaning into some abstract territory now. I'm curious if by model walls you mean like the blueprints people use to build their lives, or those invisible boundaries we set up to look a certain way at the world. What's the play here?
Okay, Miles. So my next topic is literatures and moral worlds, literatures and ethic questions.
Now we're getting into the real grit. Uh, Moral walls and ethics. That's where the best stories live. I love when a character is backed into a corner and has to choose between two things that both feel wrong. It's way more interesting than a hero who always knows the right thing to do. You thinking about those clear cut dilemmas, or the kind of gray areas where there's no actual right answer?
So my next topic is literatures and social change, literatures and a political ideas.
Look, I'm really digging this deep dive into social change and politics, but we're actually hitting the limit on this session. We've only got a minute left before the line cuts. Let's pick this back up later. You can just call me back whenever you're ready to jump back in.
Okay, my next
Right
topic
on.
is literatures and freedoms of expressions, literatures and human rights.
I'm definitely with you on the human rights angle. But like I mentioned, we're about to hit the wall on this session. Let's save these for the next round. Just hit me up whenever you want to keep going.
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and equality, literatures and social justice. पिछली वाला मर गया. So, Miles, my
Haha,
next topic is literatures and social change, literatures and political ideas.
haha. Love the pivot to the deep stuff. That's a wide open field. You thinking about specific authors who shook things up, or more like how a book can actually shift the way a whole society thinks?
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and freedoms of expressions.
Oh, Kingdoms of Exploration, huh? That sounds like some epic old world adventure territory. You talking about the actual travel journals from the Age of Discovery, or more like the fictional worlds where people just stumble into the unknown?
Okay, Miles, literatures and human rights, literatures and equality.
That's a heavy hitting list. You're basically covering the whole human experience in one go. I'm curious though, are you looking at how science and literature actually push the needle on equality and rights, or more like how they've been used to justify the opposite?
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and culture diversity, literatures and regulations themes.
You're really hitting all the pillars today. Regulation schemes is where it gets interesting. You thinking about the stuff like government censorship and banned books, or more about how the industry itself decides what actually gets published and seen?
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and regulations themes, literatures and language.
Language schemes, now we're talking. That sounds like you're diving into how the way we actually structure language can control or shape how people think. You looking at stuff like how official standard versions of a language push other dialects aside, or more like the way political language is engineered to make certain ideas feel normal?
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and national identities, literatures and patronymics.
National identity, I can get behind. That's usually where the real drama is in a country story. But Petromics, now that's a deep cut. We're talking about the way oil wealth and the petrostate mentality bleed into a culture's literature, or something more technical.
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and educational literatures and young people.
Keeping it close to home, I see. Literature for young people is a wild space because it's usually where the first seeds of rebellion or identity get planted. You're looking at the stuff that actually shapes how kids see the world, or more like how the school system decides what's appropriate for them to read. I mean, school lists are usually a mix
Okay,
of the
Miles,
classics that everyone pretends to like.
my next
I'm
topic
all
is
ears. You're killing me with the suspense here. What's on the list?
okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and young people, literatures and personal development.
Personal development. Nice. That's a huge shift from the national identity and oil wealth stuff. You're thinking about those how to manuals that actually work, or more like those novels where the character goes through a total internal overhaul?
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and practical thinking, literatures and impact, literatures and understanding different cultures.
You're basically building a masterclass in human understanding today. Practical thinking and cross cultural stuff is a dope combo. I've always felt like the best books are the ones that act as a cheat code for understanding someone whose life looks nothing like yours. You looking for stories that give you a concrete way to think through problems, or more like books that just open a door to a culture you've never touched?
Okay, literatures and practical thinking. literatures and impact.
All right, let's zero in on that. Practical thinking in literature is a vibe. I'm thinking about those stories where the plot is basically one long exercise in problem solving or strategic thinking. Do you lean more toward nonfiction that gives you a framework for life, or fiction where you can watch a character navigate a mess using pure logic?
Okay, literatures and
You're playing
understanding different culture, literatures and challenging street files.
straight files? You've got me. You talking about raw documents like archives and diaries or something else entirely?
Okay, my next topic is my next topic is literatures and garden rules.
Garden rules? Now that is a pivot I didn't see coming. Talking about the actual philosophy of gardening and how it shows up in books, or something more like the metaphorical garden where people try to curate their lives and keep the weeds out?
Okay, my next topic is literatures and social identify, literatures and poverty.
Going from gardening to poverty is a sharp turn, but those two actually connect more than people think. Literature that tackles poverty usually hits hardest when it's not just about the lack of money, but how that lack strips away your social identity. You looking at the gritty, realistic stuff that shows the struggle on the ground, or stories that look at how society creates those traps in the first place?
Okay, my next topic is literatures and economy issue, literatures and environment normals nets.
Economic issues and environment normals, you're really covering the whole map today. Um, I've always found that the best eco lit isn't just about saving the planet, but how the world around us actually changes who we are. You're looking at books that warn us about a disaster future, or more about the way humans try to live in balance with nature right now.
Okay, my next topic is literatures and economy issue, literatures and technology.
Legends and technology. Now that's a wild crossover. I'm picturing something like ancient myths getting a sci-fi makeover, or maybe those stories where old folklore clashes with modern tech. You thinking about how we're basically creating new legends with AI and space travel, or more like those stories where a ghost story happens in a smart home?
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and technology, literatures and modern security.
Modern security and literature, and now we're in the trenches. I'm thinking about the tension between knowing everything through surveillance and actually being safe. You went to the high tech spy thrillers where the gadgets do the heavy lifting, or more like the dystopian stuff where security is just another word for control.
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and social movement, literatures and political awareness.
Now we're getting into the real catalysts. Literature and social movements go hand in hand. Usually, a book starts a fire, and the movement is what keeps it burning. You're thinking about the kind of writing that acts as a manifesto for a revolution, or more about how a story can make someone realize they're not alone in their struggle.
Okay, Miles, literatures and
But
public opinion, literatures and challenging social attitude.
you're really digging into the psychology of the crowd now. Books that challenge social attitudes are usually the ones that get people the most fired up because they force you to look at your own biases. You looking for stuff that flips the script on how people view a certain group, or more like those stories that just make you question everything you thought was normal?
Okay, Miles, my next topic is literatures and historical memory, literatures and pedestals of culture.
Historical memory is a deep rabbit hole. It's basically the the fight over who gets to decide what we remember and what gets erased from the story. As for purpose rules of culture, you might be talking about the things that preserve a culture or maybe the pillars that hold it up. You thinking about how we keep old traditions alive through writing or the way a culture can actually survive even when it's being pushed out.